Hey all, this is Val here with another Dungeon Hunter Champions video, and today it's all about Update 4. So, Update 4 is here. As you can see, I've got my team. I'm doing some tests. We're going to run this and see how this goes. Now, from what I've been testing, really, Diva seems the way to go. If you don't have a Diva, you are struggling now. I highly recommend you build it. But because we're going to start off and see what we can do without Diva, you'll be able to see it live. We can try. So just to test it out, we're going to start off with Amethyst. Amethyst is a lot easier to get than Diva, and he did previously work. I would be using my Zircon, but unfortunately my Zircon isn't geared as well. The whole point here is to see if this relatively easy free-to-play team that is going to depend primarily on a Snake Lady for damage is still feasible in Update 4. Okay, so here we go. Let's target the Snake Lady, see what she's doing. Now, another test here, what we're looking at is previously 5 stars. We're absolutely just fine. However, damage has been increased on Widow, as well as, unfortunately, more frequent AoE lasers. So we're going to see how that goes. These are very squishy units currently that were able to survive because we could block the OGD using Zircon and Amethyst, but specifically that mechanic was removed. So now if you don't have stacks of OGD, the boss is still going to do decent damage to you. So let's see if we're going to be okay with this free-to-play team. If it fails, I do want you guys to see that because it's very important that you know what you're getting into. As you can see, that hurt a lot. My Snake Lady does not have a lot of HP because now we have to build these guys' attack. So HP is definitely an issue. Now, previously in others, you see 4 stacks of OGD, you're doing really good. There's our first laser. We do lose our stripper, which is bad. So it looks like this team's just not going to work. It's not going to happen without stripper. Let's save time. Let's remove it. Let's give up. So as you saw there, 5-star didn't really work out. I mean, she took a metric poop ton of damage. Now, if you have built your Rona tankier, that might work. My Rona is built full glass cannon. She worked perfectly fine previously, but she's not working now. I know it's only one run. Maybe it was bad RNG. But what that means for you is that you could be running this, have the same RNG happen to you consistently, causing wiped runs and wasted. So what we're gonna do is, since she got one shot, that really wasn't the fault of Amethyst, and Diva wouldn't have changed that because she would have been one shot, she would have died anyway. So we'll remove her and we'll go with a tankier 6-starred Zinnia for our strips. We will keep Amethyst as our main. So that way everyone gets immunity, everyone gets the heal over time. I know it doesn't matter because they made it full area now. They don't have to be super close together for those abilities, but old habits die hard. So here's our second attempt. Now we have a tankier stripper. We still do have a 5-star Wanga. Wanga might not be able to be replaced with Mojo because of the elemental disadvantage, as well as now he's going to AoE more. So that's really not a good combination for a 5-star Mojo. We're going with Wanga. He is free to play. It does take some luck to get him from the free, but also he does come up as a reward in Arena, and he's usually an easily reachable reward. So I still consider him a good free-to-play unit, even though he's not as easy to get as Mojo is. However, with the Update 4 change, as stated before, 5-star units really take a licking, as we saw with my Rona. She just died instantly. And that automatically says bad RNG can happen to you as well, which is going to cause a wipe. And because she is so squishy, it's just not a good idea likely to bring her in as 6-star. But if yours is more tanky, your results could vary. This seems slightly better. We took some serious damage there. There's the laser already. So as you can see, there's a lot of damage going out. Wanga didn't get healed up yet. I'm not confident even if this clears it, it would be super stable. The length of the fight is an issue. We are managing OGD with immunity though. And the OGD stacks are getting high, and it's really not having that much of a huge effect on the boss. It really isn't. I mean, this is dying incredibly slow. But it looks like it's going to be successful. I think you would be okay with this team stability over several hundred thousands of runs as many times as... Oh, look at that. I don't even know what killed Monis. I didn't see what killed him. But we should still be able to get it complete. I didn't see that. So we'll sell that. That wasn't worth it. Let's look at Snake Lady's damage and see how she did. So we had 2 minutes and 35 seconds of uptime on GD. Monis had 2 minutes and 19 seconds. These were our most damaging units because they have OGD. The fight was long. The fight was 2 minutes and 7 seconds. So this is a significant reduction in the output of damage from OGD. Significant. All right, let's try this again. Let's see if we can make it. Now, we want to keep, let's take out Mojo, even though he has the damage. Why he is here is not the attack up, because attack up doesn't apply to OGD. It's actually for his defense buff. That is why we have him. But let's see if we run with Kai Wenji or Water Diva to see if that improves the stability when using a slower OGD based unit for your main DPS, because a lot of you out there are still killing this via OGD, and the OGD nerf is a pretty significant one. As you can see, for the amount of uptime, the amount of stacks we had in the old version of SW10, that would have died much, much sooner. So now you're going to have to tank through more lasers, which means you are going to have to bring healers and sustain units to ensure that you live. My guess is here, because Diva puts out a constant AoE heal, and having the cooldown reduction from Zinnia and both Monis should significantly improve the stability of this run. I would still recommend a Zircon or Amethyst for the immunity to make sure that you also do not have to deal with OGD stacks. While even if you do have OGD stacks and you decide just to heal through the OGD, the boss will not do increased damage. However, for young teams, your gear might not be good enough for your support units to provide enough heals to power through it. Because again, I am not going to tell you how to get the fastest run possible. I'm going to tell you how to get the most stable run possible, so you are not wasting energy just to kill it a few seconds faster. As a new player, you really need that stability versus speed. Once you've spent more time in the game, then you can concentrate more on the speed aspect of it. And again, all the trees that I am coming up with are specifically designed to be easy for new players coming in. Really, the hardest unit we have here to get is Snake Lady, and that is because I know a lot of you already have it. You're already using it to clear efficiently and are worried if you will still be able to clear with the new update. Kai Wenji is increasing the stability. People do drop down, but they are typically healed fairly quickly. What we're really looking for here is one-shots. And previously, Amethyst did take a one-shot because he is a 5-star, but you do have Diva here to bring up the slack should he actually go down. So it's not a deal breaker like having your Rona get one shot when she is your only stripper, because then you have no way to deal with the invulnerability or the shield, which is going to pretty much guarantee a wipe. Now, if you do have other immunity units like Camille or Ella, those units will function, but I would recommend that they are at 6-star, because as you can see, the 5-stars are just getting one shot. Even Zinnia, my Zinnia is very tanky. If you've watched my PvP videos, you probably have seen her take many teams on just solo when they die. She doesn't win, obviously, but it takes the team a while to kill her. So that's just an example of how hard this is hitting, that he can bring my Zinnia that low. Now look at them having to deal with the OGD. That's something else you want to pay attention to. See how much harder it's making to keep everyone up. But adding Kai Wenji was a good choice, as she did make the run stable at 2 minutes and 41 seconds. Now, as you notice, Rona did increase this significantly. My suggestion would be, if you do want to use Rona, is to 6-star her now, and then make sure that you are working in HP and defense. Let's take a look at the stats here. Of course, because it was a longer fight, OGD is going to win out here. As a matter of fact, that was the only way we were killing it, was with OGD. Okay, so now that we've looked at that, Amethyst we've identified is a weak area, but running in this specific team, you would be okay because Amethyst would die. You would still have Kai Wenji to heal you through it, which we saw, and she worked really good. There was no issues with that setup. Unfortunately, I don't have another immunity unit that's really easy to pick up that's already built where we can test it. We could throw in Zircon, who would have elemental advantage, but I fear he would have the same thing. He would be easily one-shot, and you would need a secondary healer to make up for it, which means increased run times. So really my suggestion is, if you know you're going to be slow, is to double heal it. Definitely bring double heals if you are running an OGD team, because being squishy really doesn't help you here. An oldie but goodie from back in the day, let's bring in Dodgy. Dodgy is definitely someone who has put in work for me in the past. This team is a little harder to put together because now you have a Nat 3 light and dark unit, meaning you have to have done a light and dark summon or have gotten lucky in arena and placed high enough to get her in previous arena seasons. All right, here we go. Let's see how Dodgy does. Hopefully she can speed this up for you if you are dependent and you have a lot of OGD units built, because let's be honest, OGD back in the way for everyone was a great way just to get things going. And the positive side to using Dodge, she already has the attack stat pretty high because she's basically an attack unit. Before, she just never got any benefit from OGD. Now she does. The issue that you're going to run into is the same as with the Snake Lady, though, because they are primarily attack units. Unless you did put some extra time to get them some HP and defense in their glass cannons, they are going to take a lot harder hits. And because the difficulty of SW was adjusted, that means you might have much spikier runs because it never really was a concern. So here we go. Here we go. Come on. Come on, Dodgy. Speed this bad boy up for my viewers so they have another option. So my Dodgy, if I remember correctly, isn't super squishy. It's been a while since I've used her, though. It's been a while. I'm pretty sure Kai Wenji will be able to carry the team. It's that OGD is really freaking annoying. It's super annoying. Those stacks, like pretty much every time Kai Wenji's ability is up, she's going to use it instantly. She's not going to save it. Luckily, we do have, there we go. That's going to say, luckily we have Zinnia to pick up the slack. Yeah, I mean, we're getting high stacks. And back in the day, I mean, the boss's HP would just be falling. I mean, it would be honestly falling. It looks like, look at the immunity, though. Immunity looks like it's going to be making a comeback here, especially if you have a slower OGD team like this. This team completed it. My guess is, though, there is a chance of failing here. Looking at it, it was the fastest of the ones we tested. Let's go ahead and sell. And let's take a look at the numbers. Let's see how it came out. All right, look at that. Snake Lady on top of the DPS as well as Monis. Again, longer fights in OGD. Dodgy was right behind them. She even had haste, so she was doing even more damage. So it looks like OGD is just really still the way this group is killing it, pretty much. Having Dodgy helped a little bit, but not that much. It was faster, meaning you have to eat less lasers, meaning there's less uptime on the boss's OGD. My suggestion here, again, still stands. If you do have OGD damage, maybe you're running a single OGD unit or double OGD units, you likely might need to double healer it, or you will need to re-gear your OGD units with more HP and defense substats. I really wouldn't recommend taking out attack because that's going to lower their damage and make the fights last longer. So we've taken a look at that. I think that conclusion is pretty solid. I mean, I've done enough of these runs, good and bad. I don't think any of those teams were 100%. I believe the last one would probably be somewhere around like 95 to 98%. I can see RNG really screwing you on it for sure, 100% for sure. Now let's take a look at my Snake Lady so you have a good reference as to what stat she was and how her damage looked. So here she is at 1700 attack, 34k HP, over 1k defense, and this is my base. If you guys have been watching me a while, you know I always recommend about 35 HK and over 1K defense. It's just my standard recommendation. She's got 100% accuracy and 1700 total attack. So that's how I built her. Crit damage, crit rate means nothing to her. If you do want to get an additional stat to look for, it's resistance to make sure that she doesn't get stunned and things like that. But this team will get it done for you, albeit not at 100%. In another video, we'll take a look and see if we can come up with a good, like, basic starter team. I don't think that's going to be possible anymore given the increased damage and time it does take to kill it, but we are going to try it. This video specifically focused on OGD and trying to make it work. Thank you all for watching. Please leave your comments down below. Even if you don't agree with me, put those comments in there. I take constructive criticism very well, but also don't just expect me to be like, okay, you're absolutely right. There will be discussion, helpful, hopefully fruitful discussion, but I will come back with counterpoints. It just doesn't mean I'll take it. It just really means I'll listen to it, and maybe talking together we can come to like, oh yeah, maybe your way does make more sense, or what, however it goes. But I'm always open to constructive criticism. Also, hit that notification button so that way you know when I have a new video released. And if you haven't, take a look at my Twitch channel. That's going to be twitch.tv/Philans80. Thank you all for watching, and as always, all you dudes and dudettes out there, stay frosty.